Inside a single building that cost $20 billion to construct, machines are printing silicon wafers at gross margins exceeding 60%. That is more money per square foot than a casino, a gold mine, or a Swiss bank. Yet, if the power flickers inside that building for just 1/10 of a second, the entire operation loses $250 million before the emergency lights even come on. How does a facility that generates $50 million in revenue every single day live constantly 48 hours away from complete financial destruction? To understand why the most profitable hardware on Earth is also the most dangerous business model ever created, you have to look past the pristine glass walls and examine the terrifying financial math running inside the ultra-clean air. Before a single customer places an order, the owner of a modern semiconductor megafactory, a Terafab, has already committed to a monthly burn rate that would bankrupt most Fortune 500 companies in a week. Building the facility alone requires $20 billion in capital upfront. To put that in perspective, you could build 5 deep-water oil rigs or 3 international airports for the price of 1 manufacturing floor. But the building itself is just an empty shell. The real financial trap sits inside the cleanroom. A single extreme ultraviolet lithography machine, the machine required to print the microscopic circuits on modern chips, costs $350 million. You do not buy one, you buy 20. That decision alone locks the business into an invisible financial clock that never stops ticking. The moment that machine is installed, accounting rules dictate that it begins to depreciate over 5 years. That means before paying a single employee, buying a single watt of electricity, or purchasing a single raw wafer, the facility loses roughly $12 million every single day just by standing still. This is the exact point where 9 out of 10 traditional business owners make a fatal calculation. They assume that if you buy the best tools, you can simply charge higher prices and protect your margin. The numbers tell a completely different story. In a Terafab, time is not money. Time is a financial meat grinder. Every second an advanced lithography tool sits idle, it consumes nearly $140 in pure depreciation loss. If a machine pauses for an hour due to a maintenance delay, you have not just lost time. You have permanently burned through more cash than the average American home is worth. Revenue pays the bills, but depreciation in a Terafab destroys empires quietly while everyone is celebrating high gross margins. Which brings us to a number that almost nobody outside the semiconductor industry knows exists. The cost of a single blank silicon disk before a single transistor is printed on it. $500. That sounds manageable until you realize what happens over the next 90 days. That $500 disk will travel through more than 1,500 distinct manufacturing steps, moving through miles of automated overhead tracks inside a sealed environment. By the time it emerges 3 months later, that disk is worth $40,000. But there is a catch that destroys most new entrants before they finish their first year. Everyone assumes a factory gets paid for everything it builds. Reality is far more brutal. If the factory makes a mistake on step 1499, the entire $40,000 wafer becomes worthless gray glass in less than 2 seconds. This brings us to the most guarded secret in modern finance: yield rate. If 85% of the chips on a wafer work, the fab prints millions in pure cash. If that yield rate drops to 40%, the fab is effectively paying $40,000 to produce $20,000 worth of usable inventory. A 4% drop in yield does not mean a 4% drop in profit. It wipes out the entire profit margin of the factory for the entire quarter. One decision turned a $40,000 wafer into a $6 million quarterly loss, and the culprit was something so small it could not be seen under an ordinary microscope. We will come back to that microscopic nightmare in 7 minutes. To understand how a Terafab survives this razor-thin edge between fortune and disaster, you have to look at its power grid. A full-scale megafab consumes as much electricity as a city of 300,000 homes. It uses 10 million gallons of ultra-pure water every day. Water filtered so intensely that a single drop of ordinary tap water would contaminate thousands of gallons. The utility bill alone runs into tens of millions of dollars every month. But the cost of utilities is not what keeps the chief financial officer awake at night. It is the stability of the supply. If a storm hits the regional grid and causes a voltage drop lasting 50 milliseconds, a duration 5 times faster than the blink of a human eye. The automated overhead transport hoists lock up. The chemical vapor deposition chambers shut down mid-process. Hundreds of wafers currently undergoing microscopic etching are instantly ruined. The business was already bankrupt for that day. It just did not know it yet. One major Asian manufacturer experienced a 0.2-second power disruption. And what happened 6 weeks later on their quarterly balance sheet shocked Wall Street analysts who thought the company was invincible. Most people believe that having the largest customers in the world is the ultimate competitive moat. The math inside a Terafab proves the exact opposite. Because a state-of-the-art facility costs $20 billion, only 3 or 4 companies on Earth can afford to buy chips made on its most advanced node. These buyers, tech giants worth trillions, know this balance of power intimately. They do not negotiate like ordinary customers. They demand guaranteed production capacity 18 months in advance. If the fab owner builds a brand new multi-billion-dollar line specifically for one client's new smartphone processor, the fab is completely at that client's mercy. If that client delays their product launch by just 90 days due to a software bug, the fab's daily $12 million depreciation bill does not pause. The machines sit there, silently consuming capital, while the owner watches cash reserves melt away. In traditional commerce, securing the biggest buyer is a blessing. In a Terafab, it is a gilded hostage situation. High sales do not mean safety. High sales mean your fall will just be louder. That brings us back to the hidden question every investor asks. Why not simply raise prices on existing chips and hold off on buying new machinery? Why keep running on this financial treadmill? The answer lies in a psychological trap that burns through cash faster than any recession. Silicon double-crosses its creators every 2 years. The moment a Terafab reaches peak efficiency on a 5-nanometer chip process, the market moves to 3 nanometers. The old machinery, bought with billions in debt that may not even be fully paid off yet, loses 80% of its pricing power almost overnight. To remain viable, the owner must take every dollar of profit earned from the current generation and immediately reinvest it, plus billions in new debt, into constructing the next generation facility before the current one has even cooled down. The busiest business isn't always the most profitable. Sometimes it is just the one running fastest toward a cliff. You never actually get to keep the cash. Profit isn't made at the cash register. It's made in the decisions nobody sees on the balance sheet, which leads to a terrifying realization that hits every tech executive eventually. The highest paid person in the building isn't the chief executive officer or the master architect. It is the yield engineer, the person responsible for hunting down the microscopic enemy we mentioned earlier. Consider what actually lives inside the air of a normal room. A single cubic foot of everyday air contains roughly 35 million particles of dust, skin flakes, and pollen. A single human hair is roughly 80,000 nanometers wide. A modern chip transistor is 3 nanometers wide. If a single speck of dust, a particle 500 times smaller than a grain of salt, lands on a silicon wafer during the photolithography stage, it acts like a mountain falling on a city grid. It shorts out thousands of microscopic connections instantly. To combat this, the cleanroom inside a Terafab cycles its air hundreds of times every hour through specialized filtration floors that cost more than a major international airport terminal. Workers dress in full-pressure clean suits, scrubbing down in air showers before stepping onto the floor. Yet despite all of this, yield rates on a brand new manufacturing node often start at less than 30%. That means when a company announces a revolutionary new process, 70 out of every 100 wafers coming off the line are tossed directly into the recycling bin. They are burning millions of dollars in electricity, raw gas, and labor to produce industrial trash. This is the same mistake 9 out of 10 hardware founders make when scaling up, budgeting for the cost of the raw materials, but failing to budget for the cost of the mistakes. That number we promised to explain earlier, the $6 million quarterly loss caused by a single hidden variable, was not caused by a machine failure or a power outage. It was caused by a chemical purity drop of 0.001% in the raw fluorinated gas imported from an overseas supplier. The gas was technically within normal industrial specifications, but at the 3 nanometer scale, Normal specifications are a death sentence. For 3 straight weeks, every wafer processed through chamber 4 suffered invisible microscopic crystal fractures. By the time quality assurance detected the flaw 3 weeks later, thousands of wafers were ruined. The company did not go under, but the lesson was clear. In extreme manufacturing, you are only ever one microscopic impurity away from financial ruin. So how do these massive operations actually generate billions in net wealth without collapsing under their own capital expenditure? The answer lies in a financial mechanism that completely overturns traditional economics. It is called the tail-end margin curve. During the first 2 years of a new facility's life, the fab loses money or barely breaks even on a cash flow basis. Depreciation is high, yields are low, and debt service payments are brutal. But if the engineering team can push yield rates from 30% to 90% while paying down the initial construction debt, something miraculous happens in year 4. The machinery is now partially depreciated on the books. The process is fully optimized. The raw material suppliers have lowered their prices due to volume. Suddenly, the cost to produce that same $40,000 wafer drops from $35,000 down to $8,000. The gross margin skyrockets from 15% to over 80%. This is where the real fortune is made. Not on the cutting-edge node that makes headlines in technology blogs, but on the older, mature nodes that supply chips for automobiles, medical devices, and industrial equipment. These mature lines operate like quiet, automated mints. The machinery was paid off years ago. The yield is near perfect. The customers have built their entire supply chains around these specific chips and cannot switch without spending millions in re-engineering costs. Everyone believes chipmakers make their fortunes on the newest, fastest processors. The numbers reveal a completely different truth. The newest chips buy the headline prestige, but the decade-old legacy chips pay off the mortgage. Yet even this money-printing engine has a lethal vulnerability that no amount of engineering can fix. Geographic concentration. Over 70% of the world's most advanced semiconductor manufacturing capacity is concentrated in a single geographical region. A single major earthquake, a localized drought affecting water supplies, or a regional geopolitical crisis would not just disrupt one company. It would halt global automobile production, paralyze consumer electronics, and cause trillions of dollars in global economic damage within 48 hours. This is why governments around the world are currently pouring hundreds of billions of dollars in public subsidies into building local terafabs. They're not doing it because it is a great standalone business. They're doing it because they have realized that without local silicon manufacturing, an entire modern economy can be brought to a standstill by a single supply chain bottleneck. A factory doesn't fail when it stops making products. It fails the moment it stops spending billions on its successor. The most expensive thing in extreme technology isn't failure. It's standing still for 6 months. When you step back and look at the entire financial architecture of a terafab, the grand illusion disappears. It is not merely a high-tech manufacturing plant. It is a high-stakes financial machine that trades massive capital risk for microscopic precision. It demands $20 billion up front just to play the game, burns through millions in depreciation every single day, lives in constant fear of a microscopic speck of dust, and forces its owners to spend every cent of their profit buying the next generation of tools before the current ones have even paid for themselves. Everyone believes chipmakers are printing cash. The reality is they are burning cash at light speed just to buy time. Scale isn't an advantage in this business. It is a treadmill you can never step off. You don't own a terafab. The terafab owns you. If you thought the cash burn inside semiconductor manufacturing was terrifying, wait until you see how commercial aviation leasing companies make money by purchasing $300 million jets with almost zero cash down, and how a single delayed maintenance check can bankrupt an airline overnight. But that is a story for the next investigation.